coming real soon.
Okay.
Good people, this song's for you. So from the youngest to the oldest, the shortest to the tallest, the biggest to the smallest, from the whole of we to the whole of you.
Beautiful people, good people.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today.
All those boys are much too much. Those boys.
Thanks for tuning back in, Flint. Now we have Sheldon Neeley in our studio. He is also the 6th Ward City Council, and he is currently running for the open mayoral seat as well. Sheldon, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. This is really a good moment for me.
Oh, good, great. I'm glad to hear that. Now, we just had Eric Mays on before you. He's also one of your opponents. We start off just by asking some of your background. How did you grow up? Where did you grow up? Are you a Flint native?
Well, I'm a product of the city of Flint. I was raised here. I'm a 5th generation Flintstonian. I worked most of my life 2 jobs here in the city of Flint. Still currently working 2 jobs. I have a very extensive background. I've been married for going on 17 years now. I met my wife when I was 19 years old. After college, we married. We became a team, and I still have that same type of team concept with my family. That's the nucleus of Sheldon Neeley. His family. Right now I currently work for Channel 12. I'm a broadcast engineer. I've been working there for 18 years. I first met you back at Central High School when I was a counselor. Yeah, I was a work experience counselor, and you were one of my students at that time. And I must say you were doing a wonderful job. Yeah, and so, and that's pretty much the work experience. Now we talk about some of the volunteer things that I've done. I'm also the CEO, Executive Director for Flint Inner City Junior Golf. My father founded the organization some 17 years ago. It's a nonprofit, community-based organization that teaches young people the sport of golf. He retired about 10 years ago. I took over, and we still continue to do that. I work with other different type of programs inside the church, and I just have a good time living.
Now you are on the board of the MTA, right?
Yep, we are on to the, but that's a byproduct of my being elected official on city council. Prior to being elected to the city council, I also served on the Flint Civil Service Commission, and I was also elected there as well.
Okay. What made you decide to go into public service in the political realm?
Well, you know, service is service. Helping people is something that I really enjoy, whether it's volunteering, helping people, or being a political servant of the people. And that's one of the things that public service and public servants have forgotten, that all elected officials work for the people. The people are the boss. The balance of power has never left the bosom of the people, and in this community, people have forgotten that. They think that they've been elected to royalty, and they have that type of mentality. But really, I'm applying for a job, which is mayor of the city of Flint, and I have to go out there and secure enough votes to get that job and to serve the people.
Now, you ran in the last primary election with 6 other people. You came in 3rd. What are you going to do differently this time to take you to the next level?
Right. Well, actually, it was 7 people the last time.
Oh, okay. You were 8th. You were the 8th person.
I'm sorry. It was a total of 7.
I see. Okay.
A total of 7. It's a total of 6 this time.
Okay.
We're going to pretty much keep the same message that we had, but this is a different type of election, actually. People don't understand this. This is a modified election to fulfill the term of Don Williamson. He resigned. His term finishes in 2011, which is two years away from now. The community right now is in a state of emergency, and there's let's make no mistake about that. The person that's going to have to come into this office is going to have to know and understand the dynamics of the troubles that this community is facing. I do understand it. I do understand how to get us out of it. We have some difficult days ahead, and they're going to be more difficult if we put the wrong person in office.
I would certainly agree with that. Now, you have proposed a lot of legislation in the 4 years you've been on City Council. Can you tell us about some of that, and what do you tend to take into your administration with you?
Right. Well, you know, the City Council is the legislative body of our local unit of government, which is the people who propose legislation. And that's one of our most important roles, is to propose legislation and improve the quality of life for the residents of the city of Flint. I propose quite a bit, as you said. Some of the legislation I'm most proud of is some of the legislation that helps protect the most vulnerable of our community, which is seniors and children. I had proposed the first truancy ordinance for the city of Flint. Daytime curfew, making sure we keep kids out of harm's way during school hours, because our kids need to be in school. And being a proud parent of 2 daughters, I want to make sure that if my child is not in school and they're in a public place, that, you know, they could be taken out of harm's way by an official, being taken back to my home or back to school. Also, during this particular administration that we had some difficult days, making sure that we are the safekeeper, keeping the budget out of harm's way. We proposed some legislation making sure that the administration could, at that time, could not spend without the proper approval of council. Also making sure that we got some of the old ordinances off the books. Say, for instance, some of our water lines. The residents currently used to have to, well, not currently anymore, but prior to the change, the modifications that I made. Say, for instance, if your water line was to rupture or fracture, and the resident was responsible for digging up the street and the sidewalk. So we made some modifications to that. After the city right away, the city was responsible for those repairs. You know, because no one has $3,000 of disposable cash just laying around their home. So we made some modifications and some corrections to ordinances to improve the quality of life of residents.
Okay. Now, Mike Brown was appointed by Don Williamson. You certainly worked with him in your current position. How do you feel he's done in his short time?
Well, Mike is he made it a full team effort. He's doing a pretty good job. Right now, if I had to give him a grade, I would give him a grade of a B. Be it that, you know, there's some things that could work to be improved on, but he's doing a really good job right now, trying to make sure that all people of the elected officials stay in tune to what's going on.
Now, in his State of the City address, he laid out a $14 million deficit that could lead up to $30 million with the pending lawsuits in this city. Now, there's going to be some very difficult choices that need to be made if you're elected to this office. Can you make a commitment here to say what you will not cut and you will not give into if you have to make those choices?
Well, the thing about it is that, you know, we got a snapshot of what the budget looks like, and it's probably somewhere in the range of 15 plus to, you know, 20, somewhere in that range. And we know and we understand that some difficult choices we have to be made, and we have to put a person in there that will be willing to make those difficult choices. And I think my tenure on City Council would show and prove that I can make those decisions and make sure that we continue to provide the level of service the residents of the city needs.
So you're saying you wouldn't commit to saying anything right now, but you would just have to take a deeper look?
Well, the thing of it is, if anybody will come before you and will commit to saying that we commit to not making these type of decisions early on before they have a full scope of what the problems are, would be just not really forthcoming. I
see. That makes a lot of sense. Now, let's go back to crime. We've had a lot of cuts in fire and police, and you know, we're not feeling as safe. We all know that in this city. What do you plan to do to make us feel safer or make the city safer against these lingering deficits?
Well, the thing of it is, I can tell you what I will do, and I can tell you what I've done, because